Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This next episode, I feel, is more about the beginning of my solo journey. And I feel like it's necessary because it's a really big part of my life and it is why a lot of things are the way they are at the moment. I feel like with all the amazing supporters that I have, I almost owe it to you guys to tell you my side of the story that everyone's been wanting to know, that's been asking. And the thing is, with my story, it's not like a story to be spun or anything like that. It's the truth of what happened. So I would like to share with you what I have been through and how I got to where I am today. At the end of the day, people are going to think what they want, believe who they want, support who they want, and that is totally fine. The amount of support I have got is actually crazy, and I'm super grateful for every single one of you when I hadn't even said much. I haven't said what actually happened to the detail. And some details I do have to leave out. Everything I say in this video is true and backed up by receipts, recordings, dates, times, texts, threats, all that sort of stuff that comes with it without being specific, because honestly they came from kind of a bit of everywhere in my situation at the time, and I am not going to expose that to strangers, to the world, just for personal reasons. And this is an ongoing legal matter now, so definitely not going to show everything that's unnecessary. But as I said before, believe what you want to believe. I feel like it's finally my time to speak on what I want to speak about. I feel like I'm in a good position to. Back then I wasn't. I was bitter, sad, disappointed, angry, all the emotions. I was very heightened being pregnant as well. So yeah, you probably did not want to ask me how I was feeling back then. And I feel like after everything that had happened, I'm past it. I have moved on in such a at peace way. Like right now, I couldn't really be too angry or still mad or anything about what happened, because I am now grateful, even though I thought I would never say that. Like at the time, I'd be like, oh my God, how am I ever going to be happy after this? How am I ever going to see the light at the end of the tunnel? This is shit. I can't believe this is happening to me. I can't believe this person's done this or this person said that, or I'm getting this commented on and I'm being compared to this person. I honestly couldn't see the light. But after all that bullshit, and I did a lot of work on myself, my friends helped me be able to put in that extra work with how I was dealing with things, how I saw things. And I'm finally, a lot of people are like, oh, why now? Are you trying to bring it all back up? No, this is just a part of my life. This is my channel. It's not yours. So I wanted to talk about this next stage, which is a very important part of my life. I want my girls to look back and be like, my mum did that. And she did that after her head wasn't held high. So I'm at a good place in my life where I'm able to talk about it and not cry and not shut down and not get sad. And I'm really proud of that. So that is why I am now going to talk about it. The beginning of my solo journey started when I realized I was not a priority. While I was in a hotel, I was in a relationship, and then shortly after being in there, I was no longer in a relationship. And that is when my solo journey begins. So everyone asked me loads of questions about me staying in this hotel and whatever else. So staying in a hotel wasn't a new thing for me and my girls. When certain things would happen or certain situations escalated, I would always tend to take my girls away from the situation. Didn't want them seeing certain behaviours, anything like that. So going to a hotel, for my big girl anyway, she knew what was happening. She was like, oh, we're going on a holiday, because I would turn to her and make it exciting, not like we had to leave or we had to go anywhere or certain things were happening. It's like, oh, we're going to go on a holiday just for a night or 2 nights or whatever it was. And normally I would just do that to let things settle and, you know, work it out or whatever in a calmer manner without the girls being present. So when we were going on holiday, my girls were excited, and that was that. Now, when we were in the hotel, I got a phone call in the early morning after a bit of a tiff, I guess, the night before, and I was told that someone was moving into our home. So that was a big adjustment in itself. The timing of everything didn't make sense with just the whole situation of that person ending up in my home whilst I wasn't there. Whenever I asked questions about how this all happened or the timing of flights or communication or whatever, it was like, oh no, I didn't do this, or oh no, it just happened, or oh, they just arrived. It's like, what? I was like, oh no. Anyway, so it just didn't make sense. Like, yeah, I will just leave it at that. And I was buzzing out because let's think of like a scenario, right? If say you were in a relationship and then you found out you had to live with an ex and like raise your babies under the same roof, but you guys like didn't really like each other, and then you had to like your due date was like pretty much the same, and like do you contract together? Do you like labor together? Does someone go in between you two? It was like, who wants water? Who wants rubs on their back? Like, I don't know. Let's just say that happened, which it didn't. But it's just, yeah, these are the little thoughts that was like going in my mind. I was like, what the heck is like, how am I meant to like picture my future? So anyway, let's just say heaps of things were happening and I was like, it was enough to make me want to change my residential address. I just put that there. Anyway, so after this information, I felt a little bit tense, a little bit stressed, if you will. And it was a whole new ball game. I was like, what the hell is going on in my belly? No, seriously, but like I was not okay. Big shock. Yeah. Anyway, so, but I mean, no one gave a shit how I was feeling or what my opinion was or how I would feel or where I would go if I wanted to go anywhere. So had to figure out my next move all by myself. Also, I wasn't allowed to communicate to anyone my situation because no one was meant to know that things were, yeah. Anyway, and then so I was pretty, like the way I felt in this hotel that I chose to stay longer in, because that going back there, I was like crying every day. I was like bawling my eyes out. Zaylee would be like, "Oh, mummy, are you okay?" I'd be like, "Yeah, I just flicked myself in the nose or poked my eye or, you know, all those things you tell the kids." Anyway, but it was like a constant poke in my eye and flick in my nose like all day, all night. Anyway, so yeah, I was not a vibe at all. So it's probably a good thing that I didn't really talk to anyone, because yeah, I was depressed as fuck, to be honest. And then because I would talk to my friends here and there, and they kind of cottoned on like, "Oh, what's going on?" Like Ash and Taylor, Brittany, obviously, and a few others down the track. But as soon as they knew something was up, they came, they wanted to help. And I finally was able to talk to someone and just say how I was feeling. And that is very, very, very important when you have been invalidated or silenced for so long. So when I started speaking to my friends, it was like, what the fuck? Like, how have you not injured someone already? How have you not stepped that door in and done things that I would have done? So yeah, it was a pretty crazy situation. Anyway, Ash ended up coming with me because I had a bleed in the hospital. I went to the hospital because I had a bleed. And look, it was, you can just guess what that was from, I feel, because yeah. Anyway, Ash was then like, "Have you got your labour bag ready, like just in case you go into early labour and whatever else?" I was like, "No." I was like, "I need to get a few more things than just my labour bag." Anyway, so came back to the house because someone had asked for my keys within the week. I didn't even have my rental application at that point. So I was like, "Oh yeah, take the keys. I will just stay here a little longer because where the fuck else am I going to go?" Sweet as. So went back and knocked on my door. Yeah. Yoo-hoo. Anybody home? Oh wait, it's a full house up in here. Fuck me days. Anyway, so someone answered the door, and it was kind of like this. "Oh, hi." And then they walked back and sat on my couch and watched my TV. So I was like, "Oh, yo." Walked in. I was like, yeah, had a little conversation with someone. Kind of lost my shit a little bit. Just raised my voice and whatever else. Sorry about that. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? So anyway, lost my shit a little bit. Then someone decides to invite themselves into my bedroom. And they go, because I was like, what the hell is going on here? Like, what are you doing here? Like, because no one would tell me. No one would tell me. Yet, the whole of like TikTok world got to know heaps more details than I did, even though I ended up finding out before TikTok a little bit, so that was all right. And I was like, what is going on? What are you doing here? And then she goes, "I don't have to fucking ask you if I can live here." And I was like, hey, what? I don't have to fucking ask you if I can live here. Why not? Because we don't have a relationship. Let me just stop you right there. Mid-conversation. Brain thinking. If you didn't have a relationship with someone, why would you want to go and live with them? Or is that just the perfect timing thing that I don't understand? Is that I wasn't there, and then someone wants to move in to someone that they don't like? Like, the fuck? Anyway, play. We're not paused anymore. And then, so when she was like, oh, we don't have a relationship. I was like, since when? And she was like, I tried to say hello to you last time, which I think was like over 4 months ago before someone went overseas, left everyone and everything for someone that they didn't know. I don't know much about that. Anyway, can't really comment on it because I think the whole world's had their comments on it. So I'm really confused to actually what the fuck happened there. But anyway, so yeah, apparently I didn't say hello to them or something. I was like, well, did you do like these ones? Because like, damn, like if I didn't say hi, like how did I not hear? You know, so like, were you like, hello? And she was like, yeah, I did. So I am blind and deaf. So I'm the problem, you see? So I was like, oh. Anyway, that conversation went a little bit longer. It got a bit better after I think I was like, you know I was like in shock because I did not expect someone to do that to me when I have done nothing to them but stay in a hotel longer. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so I was like fucking blown away, and my emotions, especially being pregnant and I couldn't do anything that it came to mind to do, I was like shutting up, but my eyes were like exploding. I was like, oh, look at me, like fucking, oh, stop it. Like my eyes were like pouring with like tears, and like that is like bizarre for me. And then she was like, why the fuck are you crying? And I was like, oh, whoa, what do you mean? Anyway, I don't know why you're being such a fucking bitch for, blah, 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 blah. And I was just there like, I've never been so shocked before in my life. Normally I'm the one to be like, or, but I didn't, thank God. Anyway, pulled myself together. Actually, no, I didn't. I fucking melted, actually. So after that, I had to go pick up my big girl from her dad's, and Ash was like, okay, we need to go, tell me what you need, because she's pretty much stopped that conversation. She was like, look, we're here to get some stuff, blah, blah, blah. We went into my wardrobe, and I just fell to the ground. I absolutely fell to the ground. I melted. I was like wheezing. I was like gasping for air. I don't know what the fuck happened to me, but I cried like never before. And I was like, what is going on? Like, I was just, I dropped to the floor, and Ash was like, okay, baby, tell me what you need. And I was like, I couldn't talk. What do you mean, tell me what I need? And then she was like, just point to what you need. We need to get your stuff for labor, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, fucking hell, yeah, weak piece of shit, I know. Anyway, and then, so she gathered some stuff, and then I was running out of time. I didn't want to be late to pick up my baby after wasting time and breath on someone else. And then when I was like, oh my God, I like this, I need more. So she's like, look, we're coming back, okay? We'll come back and we'll sort it out. And then when I came back, I had a civil conversation with someone, and I heard part of the story, and I was like, holy damn. Like, you know, that's pretty fucked up from what I heard. Still didn't understand the whole, like, you had like family and other friends. So like, to me, going back to your like ex is like just a little bit weird for me. But that's just my opinion, you know, fuck what I think. Clearly. And so yeah, I was like, yeah, all right, I like understand now. Like, thanks for telling me the bits that you could or whatever. And then I was actually like, okay after that. I was like, sweet as, blah, blah. Anyway, so as I was getting my labor stuff, the next day I realized what I actually needed to get as well, right? So anyway, left the house, did my bits and pieces there with my suitcase, and then I realized what I needed to get. So then the next day, because I was coming to see a child I used to care for, And I brought the girls over to play with him in the pool. Took the kids for a swim in there and then was going to go. So I knew I was coming back there. Anyway, I went to the shops on the way, got everything I needed times 2, because in my mind, someone else didn't have money for things, obviously came here on a pretty shitty situation from what I was told. And in my mind, she didn't have anything, or, you know, a lot of money to her name for whatever reason. And I was like, oh, well, I have, you know, savings and whatever. So when I went to Woolworths, I got double of everything, including adult nappies, size 1 nappies, clothes, because I thought she was having a girl at the time, which ended up not, so that's pretty busy. Anyway, what else did I get? Little 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, all the way to 12 months signs. I got baby wipes, I got pseudo cream, I even got ice packs for areas that would be uncomfortable, because that's what I got for myself, just in case, you know what I'm saying? And then, what else did I get? I got a whole bunch of shit, and I filled it up in like a baby bath. So it was a whole baby bath full of shit. I even got a play mat. I haven't bought a play mat because they were really cute, and I got one too. So, and then I even got those little Ural sachets that they recommend you to put in your water after you give birth, because when you piss after you give birth, it is the acid in your piss that burns you when it comes out. So if you take this little Ural sachet in water, it stops the acid from burning as you wee. Anyway, I thought it was very mindful. And so I got all that, and I was like, I didn't really have much beef. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just going with the flow. Yeah, I don't know how I did that, but I did that. And then there was a few hiccups, and I think a few misunderstandings with some communications and like certain things that were posted on social media. Yeah, anyway, I won't go into that too much, but let's just say someone was like, here, take your gift. And I was like, ouch. But okay, fine, whatever. Suit your fucking self. And then, yeah, so after a few situations like that, we were separate, or I would arrive at my house when someone wasn't there. I was allowed. And then it eventually got to a point where someone would stay in their room while I was there. After this whole situation and everything that happened, I definitely knew I needed to change my residential address, because it was clear that I was not going to share my home and raise my baby with certain people around me. That was like really uncomfortable. Anyway, so then I ended up staying so I was still at the hotel for a little while, and oh my God, it was so expensive, bro. Like around New Year's time, it's like $5.50 a night. Like it was not it. Anyway, then when my friend Taylor found out where I was, she was like, you're staying at my house. And then another mutual friend was like, you can come stay with me, which was like further in my area, closer to Big Girls Daycare, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, and like these friends were like witnessing things, controlling things about social media, about what I should post, what I'm not allowed to post, this and that. So I knew I wasn't going crazy, okay? This is just fucking weird, some of the shit that was happening. And I was just like not standing up for myself. Anyway, I pretty much took the first home that accepted me, because I was waiting for a while. And it was really nerve-wracking, because I wanted to have everything ready for my third baby. Like I was ready for every other birth, every other baby. And then this was happening and I could pop at any moment. So I was like really stressed doing all this, and like moving while you're pregnant, like, bro, it's like a mission to move in general when you're pregnant. Let me just put that out there. So I had heaps of people to help me get all my stuff out of the house. I was actually going to move it into storage because I was still not accepted, but I just wanted my shit. But then I got approved. So moved into a home, and I was so grateful that I got accepted for somewhere, because then I was like, that was a weight lifted off my shoulders. And then I was like, oh, I could focus on, I have somewhere to bring my baby home to. You know what I mean? That's what I wanted. So I was over the moon about that. Not about the situation, but it was a solid ground where I could stay and settle into. I think what was a really big eye-opener to me is how much my friends were there for me, with just the little knowledge they had then. Like, from the beginning of the year, it was just crazy how they made me a priority, that pregnant, that distraught with things that had happened, and they just made my life so much better in any way that they could. Whether it was, I had some of the girls come over on different nights, bringing flowers, bringing chocolates, bringing anything to make me smile, or even just for company. Because being in a house alone, pregnant with 2 babies, you hear all the noises, you hear all the things that kind of make you feel unsafe. It's like it was a very different time for me, because obviously I was not used to it. Grateful, and I will always be so grateful for every single person that came, wanted to give me a break, wanted to help me, wanted to organize things for me. You know, Maya was organizing the clothes, Taylor was doing flat packs, or actually everyone was really. Everyone just wanted to help. They wanted to come over, they checked on me. I was like, wow, like something I expected from someone else who couldn't even lift a box, yet can bend over backwards for someone else. There are so many things that did happen that were up and down. I was up and down. I was still attached. I was slowly, easily isolated. I don't think I was fully ready to let go of everything, despite everything that had happened. And I was just going through the craziest world of emotions every single day. You know, things were up and down every single day. Like, it was not a normal situation. And I feel like with the mental load of everything I was carrying, I was just going down. I was just going downhill. And I kind of felt like I was drowning a little bit, because it's like, you know, I'm trying to like lift myself up and like create a new life and do all this and really like get back on top of it, and, you know, ignore the little bits of bullshit I was served, like whenever they felt like it, type of thing. And I was like, what am I doing? Like, you know, the flowers, the balloons, the this, the that. And then like, also I ate shit. You know what I mean? So it's like, I was up, down, all around, left, right, to the side. Just, I couldn't get my bearings, right? I was all over the place emotionally. It didn't help being pregnant as fuck. And the mental load of everything, the cost of everything that I had to afford, because no one else contributed. How I provided for my girls was me. So I was just like, what am I doing? What am I to someone? Like, obviously not fucking much. You know what I mean? And then it made me feel like, oh, you know, maybe you shouldn't be here. Like, who needs you? Who needs you? You're already on the ground feeling like shit. Let's just, spit on you while you're down there. That's literally how I felt on certain days. And then I felt this overwhelming feeling of how my self-worth meant nothing, because I could see someone looking after other people, making sure they're okay, laughing, doing this, doing that, while someone would just like pick at me if they wanted. And I would just be there. I lost my strength, my confidence, my personality. Because, like, if I could say someone would do anything that had been done to me now, watch it. Watch this space. Like, ain't no way in hell. And that is exactly what my friends witnessed. And my friends couldn't tell me what to do. They would watch certain situations go out of hand. Yeah, I was just in a really bad time where I even thought I wasn't worth shit. But things got better as communication was cut off before Azara's birth with certain people, and my mental health went back up again. So yeah, it was due to a few other things that I'm unable to talk about, but is also why certain people were in my birthing room with Azara, and that was not my fault. Actions of other people, pretty much why I ended up in the situation I ended up in. But leading up to Azara's birth, I must admit I was scared. And I don't normally express feelings of like fear or being scared or all that sort of stuff, especially like in front of Zaylee, because I knew she would ask me a lot of questions about the birth and everything. I was like, oh, it's going to be fine. But really, I was like, bitch, I'm like shitting myself. Because I was like, at this point, I didn't know who was going to be in the room. I didn't know what I was going to be like. I didn't know how baby was, because I had like a bit of bad news about baby and her growth at one point. So, yeah, it was like a bit of a holy shit, I just hope everything goes well, That's all I was hoping for. And the last stages of being pregnant was so hard. Being that pregnant with 2 babies, like, holy damn. Yeah, I was feeling it. I was heavy. I was sad. I was happy. I was all the emotions that pregnancy heightens. And like, I had really, really, really bad hip pain and back pain with Azara. I don't know if it's because it's the 3rd baby or if it's because I'm getting old. But yeah, I was really struggling with how I felt like physically with my body and everything. So it was really hard too, because Lake Haya was very difficult to put to sleep at night. I would always have to get up and rock her back to sleep, sometimes up to 40 minutes to an hour, 3 times a night, every night. So when I'm this pregnant with a toddler who sometimes will fight me to sleep, like squirming and whatever, and when someone hits your pregnant belly, it's really sore. So that would happen constantly, all night, every night. And then little Azara would kick back, so it's like, douche, douche, douche. Like, bro. So yeah, it was really difficult, and the last stage of pregnancy is when really you want the most amount of help. You want to rest and just give your kids to someone, So yeah, that was a really difficult time for me, but I also felt really proud of myself for doing everything I freaking did, man. Because shit, throw anything else at me, I'll be able to do it after that. But one thing is for sure. One thing is definitely for sure, that Azara was meant for us. I am so lucky that I was surprised of the best accident I have ever come across, and she gave me hope, and she kicked my butt into gear to do the things I have done for her sisters and myself as well. So I can't wait to tell you all how she came earthside.